Hi everyone, and welcome to Glacier Trading Company. I've been a professional buyer for most of my adult life. I'm Craig. Join me from my remote northern location as I buy and sell antiques, collectibles, and vintage from interesting locations and from interesting people, and resell those items online. I buy from auctions, estate liquidations, stores, and from folks that just look me up and simply ask if I want to buy their items. Hang out with me for a bit and see what I got this week, and meet some of the local wildlife that live in my backyard. Let's get to it.
Hi, baby. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. You hungry, Jane? You want some food? Huh? You want some food, sweetie? All right, I'll go get you some. So cute. Hi, baby. Hi. You're so cute. Hi, sweetheart. Is that clover good? Huh? Is that good? Bugs. You are so cute. You're so cute. Look at you.
So I got this old farmer's table. with a scalloped edge. This is actually the underside. Made by Vermont Tables and Handicrafts. It's not super old, but I'd say it's probably 30, 35 years old. I got the legs apart, numbered where they go. I've hit this thing with everything in the kitchen sink. What they did is they stained it. They had urethane on it. And then somebody painted this thick brown crap all over it. And I hit it with every stripper known to man, and it just wouldn't bust it. So I'm just grinding away on it, trying to get it down to wood. So here I go. Progress is coming along. I love this spalted look. Nice distress marks in there that are just naturally from it. Right now what I'm doing is taking a knife edge and putting carved features. Nothing real major. Well, that one's kind of major. But to give it that woodworked edge. And then when I get all the way around it, I'll hit the whole thing with 220 with the orbital. I'm gonna call it a day. I think it's pretty much ready for assembly and clear coat. So here's where I'm at with the restoration redo of this table. The wet spot there is I've got some rubbing alcohol on there. There was some pine pitch on a piece I was test fitting, and I want to make sure I don't have any pine pitch on there before I put some urethane sealer on it. I just got done making these little pins to fit inside there, and then I notched this out and bought a set of these today. They're a super heavy duty shelf bracket. I need to cut them down a little bit, but after I paint them black so they kind of disappear, I'll put them in here. This was a really cool table, but it was kind of wobbly, and it's clearly built out of some very thick pine stock. So I use lag bolts and really long screws and used Gorilla wood glue to glue all the joints, so it's going to be nice and solid. So that's going to get finished off with urethane, and then that's the top that I've been working on, and it's pretty cool, scalloped edges. And it's an old Vermont table company, like Farmer's Table. And after it's all cleared and sanded back down, I'm going to cover it with epoxy resin. Not the base, just the top. So this is the base after it's had coat number 2 and it's been all sanded down. I'm going to sand it and clear it one more time. Now this is urethane. I'm only doing the base in urethane, and then the top is going to get the 2-part epoxy. So there's nothing more I can do with this part until it has a chance to cure out, and I can come back and give it its final sand and recoat. So the base is drying, but it's dust free. So I thought, you know what? I'll just lay this on top and just finish touching it up just in a couple little spots. Vac it, tack rag it, and I'm just going to put my first coat on. And then when it dries, maybe later tomorrow, I'll take it off, go outside, put it on the sawhorses, give it a sand, bring it back in, and rinse and repeat. Here we go. So what I did here is I've got the base all leveled out, and it's all prepped and ready to do the flood coat. Side, I have the tabletop, and I'm block sanding it out just to make sure there aren't any pieces of dirt or imperfections. Make sure that there's enough roughness to the surface for good adhesion when I do the flood coat of epoxy.
Feels pretty good. And see how things happen? Look at that. There's a scratch right there. I don't know that anything has touched this table. See that? But that'll sand right out. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I'm working on right now. I take it and then I clean it off, take it in, tack it out, double check and make sure it's perfectly level, and start prepping for the resin coat. All right, so the table's been prepped. It's been 220'd. It's been cleaned off. I'm ready to start mixing the 2-part epoxy resin. Get my paper towels here just in case. And I just want to make sure everything is as dust free as can be. All that stuff is new, but can't be too careful. And I've already tacked this off, just in case with me walking around, any more dust is flying around the room. Let's just hit this one more time real quick. By the way, that's a urethane sealer on there right now that I sanded down prior to putting the epoxy coat on. It just helps fill in all the little imperfections. This tabletop it's old. And it's got pits and pores, and there's some cracks, and I'm just hoping that with the 3 coats of urethane that are on here already, that there's no spots where there's going to be trapped air, and air bubbles are going to keep trying to work their way out. I would have just covered it with a 4th coat of urethane. It was looking fantastic. But for a tabletop, urethane it's probably not the best. Need something really hard so when something does not go over, a knife lands on it, it's just a little bit harder. And this epoxy 2-part resin is certainly harder than urethane. All right. Well, this says it'll cover 6 square feet, 6.4 square feet. I don't buy it. I think it covers more than that. I've done the table base and all its components. 4 coats. And I've done this top 3 coats. And I still have a half of a quart of urethane left. So I did a half a quart, did all of that. So I'm mixing up a full quart here. And I think it's going to be enough. I don't really care that it has that 1/2 inch thick, 1/4 mile thick look. I just want it protected. There we go. Can you bring the plastic on the floor?
The idea here is just to try to get this spread out about as evenly as you can. And as long as you've got the top level, it'll start to, it's a liquid, so it'll just try to find level wherever that is. As long as you don't wait too long, because it is a two-part epoxy. It's a catalyzed resin, so those ingredients in there are going to make it start to harden whether you're ready for it or not. So I actually had to slow the video down right here because that's how fast I was working. This next part needs a little propane torch. Trapped within the epoxy are all kinds of bubbles. And there's also some spots haven't leveled out, and they might, at a first appearance just look like they might need a little help. And the torch helps a little bit get it leveled. But the way this stuff catalyzes, it starts to harden up pretty quick. You've got to get those air bubbles out of there. It just looks horrible. So you got to chase the whole thing, really pay attention, and it's just like magic the way the bubbles come out of there and the stuff levels out. For obvious reasons, you can't have the torch sit in one spot for more than a blink of an eye, and that's all it really takes. And it just does an excellent job. You can't do the job without it. So it's in the house now. It's had a chance to sit out there and cure for about 4 or 5 days. I think it is by now. The chairs, we just kind of found those, and I think the wood tone is somewhat close. I might sand them down and distress them a little bit. And Jen wants to take the seat cushions off and recover them. They might work. I might come across something that I think is more suitable, but in the meantime, they'll work fine. It turned out really good. It's just a really nice finish on there. It looks gorgeous. I love the scalloped edges. I love everything about it. It's turned out to be a really cool table. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.